I am so happy to have Jackie Nourse with us today as we prepare for the Travel Goods Show coming up in March. Jackie's joining us, also known as Traveling Jackie, founder of Jump Adventures. Jackie, welcome to this pre-show recording.
Thank you so much for having me. It's great to be here.
Jackie, you're really well known. You're a travel expert. You've got an awesome podcast. Tell us about yourself a little more and what Jump Adventures is.
I started a very long time ago. I've been traveling for about 21 years now. And it was born out of a passion that I had to learn languages all over the world and study abroad. And all of that sort of turned into blogging and then eventually starting my podcast, which is Jump with Traveling Jackie these days. It's been through a name or two. But yeah, all of that, being able to invite my podcast listeners to join me in person is how I started Jump
Mhm.
Adventures. So I actually invite people to join me traveling all over the world in epic destinations. And we do a lot of hiking and cycling based adventure trips. And so, yeah, it was born from just an intrinsic need to be on the road. And I'm still doing it. And I'm still podcasting and I'm inviting people to come with me. So it's sort of all just organically just flowed throughout the years to become what it is today.
We've had a few conversations before this, and every time we're on a call, you're in a completely different part of the world. So I can
Yeah,
attest that you are, in fact, traveling Jackie.
that's
So
right.
thank
Yeah,
you for making
true
time
to the
to
name.
jump on the call. I really
Of
appreciate it.
course.
So, over the 20 plus years that you've been traveling, you've seen a lot of changes in the travel industry. I'd love to know maybe some of your observations that you've seen. And maybe let me preface a little bit with social media being a big thing that has really taken off over the past 15 years. COVID was a big part of travel and the impact that it had to travel within the travel industry. What are some other observations that you've seen?
Well, I mean, when I started, we didn't even have cell phones. So, just the ease of travel has changed entirely. I remember in 2008 using Wi-Fi, ooh, in a piazza, like outside. We had Wi-Fi at this coffee shop and we had somebody's iPod Touch. Remember those? That
Oh,
was like, they were Wi-Fi capable. This is still before a lot of people had cell phones. And I booked a hostel. And it was like the most amazing thing because I was in southern Italy and I was booking a hostel in northern Italy using someone's iPod Touch outside. I was amazed. I mean, we used to use internet cafes, and when you said you were going to be somewhere, you were there. Otherwise, you missed the bus or whatever it was. Like, there were no other ways to communicate. So the social media thing has completely changed the way that we travel. I mean, not just giving you an example of where to go and who's been there and how to do it. But I mean, back in the day, you had to know what you wanted on your own, or you had to just experience it, just discover it as you went, just explore, talk to travelers on the way. They would tell you what's up around the next corner, like, oh, well, we should just make
yeah.
that part of our circuit, and you end up running into the same people over and over as you're traveling through countries. And that part is still pretty true. But I mean, now we have a way to keep in touch, right? And share the experiences as we go. And podcasting, I mean, when I started in 2014, there weren't very many travel podcasts out there at all, and none that were hosted by solo females at all. And so that was a totally Wild West world for me. And I mean, even that has changed so much because people didn't even really, I still hear people say, I watch a podcast, I'm like, or I listen to a blog. I'm like, yeah, we're not quite there with you yet. But I mean, just having the large amount of information that's out there now and so many different platforms to be able to consume it, whether you're on a blog or on social media or listening to a podcast or watching YouTube videos, like it's insane. And some of it's good and some of it's been a little bit disruptive to the environment. Like, I mean, there's so many things you could get into, but yeah, overall, like, it's the reason I have a following and a company now is because of the technological changes that we've experienced in the last 2 decades. So,
Absolutely. And I love how you said it, it's not all bad, it's not all good. It's just it is what the technology or the times are allowing us to do. My wife and I, we took a cross-country trip in 2005, and we navigated by map, like paper
oh
map,
yeah.
even those cell phones. And looking back on it, I'm like, how in the world did we do that? Because the convenience of having a GPS on your phone and maps and other things.
Yeah.
But what we had was, it took us off the beaten path many, many times, where that's where the adventure happened. And it was just a beautiful thing that sometimes traveling, take a step back and let technology
Hmm.
be a tool, but not be the main driving force that gets you from point A to point B. But love that. How has that shaped and, I guess, helped the industry, especially when working with brands, specifically brands in the travel space?
If you can work with the right content creator, you can bring your story to life because that person then becomes the relatable piece to the audience. And I mean, of course, it depends on you want to make sure you're aligning with a person who shares the same maybe target audience and goals that you have. So I mean, um, not just industry wide, but even getting specific. Like I'm in the outdoor adventure travel industry. So I work with a lot of brands that are in the outdoor industry that may not focus on travel, but it overlaps with the adventure space that I'm in. And so, for example, if a brand wants to tap an audience that is young and adventurous and maybe female, like they would work with me or someone similar because we have that audience paying attention to what we're doing. It's a fascinating marketing um, tool, I want to say, although I don't want to call us tools. Like we are, we we have grown platforms and gained the trust of the people who watch us, and it's absolutely invaluable if you want to tap that to work together to tell a story and share a product in an experience.
How do you navigate that? So as a brand, you're a brand, you're a business owner, you're a very successful traveler and podcaster. If a brand were to approach you, how do they navigate that?
I would expect, first of all, that the brand has a reason for approaching me. So maybe they've already done their research. They know who I am. They know what kind of stories I like to tell, what kind of places I like to adventure to, and what I like to do there. And hoping that there's a reason that they want to work with me, as in, maybe I'm in that mountain space that they want to be in. I have the attention of an audience that they want to also have the attention of. Like those are the things that need to align, and you need to make sure that it's legit. Like there's a lot of people who show up in the space and you just don't know who they are. So it's up to the brand to do their due diligence in researching those people, making sure that they're actually real, they have true engagement, they have true following, and that they're, have probably worked with other brands in the past. They have examples of things that they've done, and I think when the alignment is there, it's win-win-win, right? Like I want to work with brands that believe in me and I believe in them. And together we can create magic if we do it right. Like I love that. There's nothing better than having a really good collaboration with goals that align because it's really fun. This is a fun space and we can do
Yeah,
a lot with it.
absolutely. And you talk about the organic trust and the honest factor. When I
Yeah.
hear
Yeah.
or listen to a podcast or hear see a content creator, instantly I'm like, they're traveling, they're using that gear, so that must be awesome, right?
Yeah.
But you as a content creator also have to trust that brand. You have to uh, be able to use it in a way that you in fact are doing it because it's helping better your experience in
Hmm.
travel, not just giving you
Yeah.
$2, right?
Yeah, and honestly, if it's a good, like, if a brand approaches me and I have not heard of them before, absolutely, let's have a conversation. I think everything starts with a relationship, but I also will not promote something that I haven't personally experienced. I don't do that on my platform. And so sometimes I'll say first off the bat, like, you need to give me something that I can use, and then we're gonna go from there. Like if I like it, let's continue this conversation. Like if I end up loving it, if this is my new favorite thing, we are on.
Yeah.
But if I don't know what it is, just let me use it first. Like we have to start there. And most of the companies that I work with, I either approached them because this is something I love and use, and is there something there? Or they've approached me saying, "Hey, we have an idea." And it just starts with, a conversation. For me, it's always a relationship. The companies that I take jump adventures to. So like when we travel the world and we go on these big grand trips, most of the partners I work with, I've known personally for more than 3 years before we even go to that destination. Like I've met them, I've known them for a while, and now we're finally building something together. It can be very similar in the outdoor space, but it's a quicker it's quicker to be able to share products and use them than it is to create a group itinerary and take everybody out. But it's a very similar process. It starts with a relationship. That's why the networking is so crucial, because you never know who you're going to meet, and what you can create together.
Brands need to know how to navigate that, because there are people, influencers, who are just looking at how can I make some money quickly, and it's exploiting brands. It's really doing a disservice when there are people who, like yourself and people that we're bringing to the travel goods show, who are genuine, really love what they're doing, have made a positive impact in travel, and are helping people who may not know the challenges, the issues. You're helping them to find those areas that will give them a better experience. So I love
Mhm.
that. Now, you're coming to the Travel Goods Show, and we're super excited. This is amazing that Jackie Nourse is coming. Tell us about your involvement. What will you be doing at the Travel Goods Show?
Well, I think we're going to have a few really packed days. It's going to be awesome. I am going to be moderating a panel for van life, which I'm personally very excited about, because in the last 6 months, I've been living mostly out of my own truck camper. And so I have a lot to relate with these people. So I'm excited to be moderating that panel. And then I'll be sitting on a panel for solo female travel. And I mean, that's my thing. So I'm here for it. And I'm very much looking forward to the networking sessions. And like I said, you never know who you're going to meet. And I'm really looking forward to seeing who's going to be at this conference. And, you never know who you're going to be having lunch next to, or on a speed networking thing with. Everybody has a story, and they're there for a reason. So I'm very curious and intrigued and looking forward to it.
Where can people find you outside of at the show? How can they get in touch with you?
I am on Instagram as Traveling Jackie, and my company is Jump Adventures. So you can find jumpadventures.com. You can go to travelingjackie.com. You can find either one of those on Instagram and come along with us. Come along with me. Come along with all of us. It's a good time. We have a lot of fun. So I look forward to meeting anybody online.
What are the 5 items that you have to take with you no matter where you go?
The very first thing I always think of is my Anchor battery charger, is a portable phone charger. I have one that can charge my iPhone about 7 times, which means I can take it on a through hike where I won't have a lot of access to electricity for days and not worry about it. I use my phone a lot for photo, for recording things, like, so I need to have that. So it's absolutely number one always. I have a little stuffable day pack from Osprey that it's like this big. It's
Mhm.
tiny, so you can always bring it with you, but it's also waterproof. And so if you're jumping on a bike, jumping in a kayak, going down a freaking water slide, I mean, you're ready for anything. And so you can always have a little bag with you. Like I think that's really important. I'm all about backpacks. I have so many backpacks. I love backpacks. My favorite adventure shoes, they're from Oboz, and they are a low pair of hikers. They
Mhm.
are the most comfortable things my feet have ever met. And they're hikers, but I have run in them when necessary. And so, I like a good pair of adventure shoes is really, really important, because then you're ready for anything, whether it's walking for miles and miles and miles around a city, or hitting the trail for multiple days. The shoes are really important. And my shoes are these Oboz Sawtooth X. I love them. I will sing their praises until the cows come home. I love a good fanny pack
Okay, good.
because you can always carry, like, whether I love to have it because if you're in a place where you're don't have to wear a lot of clothes like tank tops or whatever. You don't have a lot of pockets. You can always have that fanny pack to carry the phone, the passport, whatever it is you need. Maybe the book, the water bottle, like fanny packs with a lot of space. I'm a big fan of fanny packs. I like having pockets. I don't carry purses, so I need like, I need to be able to put things places. So I actually carry fanny packs a lot. Um, and then I would say a packable puffy. So like a warm layer, I always, always, always have with me a packable puffy jacket. So something that squishes down really small. The one that I'm loving right now is actually from a brand that I have met recently, and I'm completely impressed with. They're called Outdoor Vitals, and they're from Utah.
What is one like travel related piece of advice or wisdom that you can impart?
One piece of travel wisdom that I can impart. This is one of my favorite questions to ask my podcast guests as well, because it's so important. Like, what is just one thing that you want to leave with the audience? And this is going to be my thing. It is so easy to actually go, to actually get out. Really, all it takes is either getting in your car and driving somewhere far away, maybe it's not even that far, or buying a plane ticket. All you really have to do is show up. That's all you have to do. Everything else is figure outable. And so I think sometimes we get so into our routines and our ruts that it's really hard to imagine even getting out or what it's going to look like. But guess what? Once you get there, you're still you. You haven't left your resourcefulness behind. Like you're super resourceful. You know how to figure things out. And it's probably exactly what you needed is this adventure and getting out. So I would say, and as so many people who come on my show also say, just do it, just go. It's easier than you think. And it's the most rewarding thing you can possibly do for yourself. It's just exposing yourself to the other, learning what that looks like, having the adventure of figuring out where your coffee's coming from every day. Like it's the little things that add up to the grand experiences that really stay with you and change your life.
I look forward to hearing more about your adventures that have changed your life
Thank you.
at the show. So, Jackie, thank you. Really appreciate this conversation and your participation at the 2024 Travel Goods Show. It's going to be amazing, and I look forward to connecting with you then.